So we know Secretary Hegseth said today will be the most intense day of strikes yet under Operation Epic Fury. This is the president has offered kind of mixed signals on how long the fight could last. Yesterday he called it a short-term excursion. Now let's bring in the United States Marine Corps Navy veteran John Vick. John, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on. And I think, you know, as we talk about the execution of this conflict, at least right now, a lot of the conversation has turned to the Strait of Hormuz, not very far from where I am in Dubai, and whether part of this, because earlier in the briefing they were talking about taking out, you know, Iran's ability to launch missiles and drones. Part of this is also making sure there's, you know, there aren't any mines in that strait. What do you make of that? Because that could help the global economy get that thing running if they can get the ships through there.
Yeah, well, it strikes me that is mostly bluster. The United States Navy has war-gamed how to control the Strait of Hormuz and prevent mining operations from Iran for many, many years, since well before I got into this business. I would say that overall, the prime question after today, the most intense day, day 11, with over 5,000 targets struck, you have missile launches, ballistic missile launches down by 90%. From Iran. You have drone launches down 83%. You have 50+ Iranian ships sunk, which is pretty much all of them for the most part. So the big question is, if they were going to try to mine the Strait of Hormuz, what would they do it with? And add American air dominance on top of that, it's hard to see them following through on that threat.
Here's part of what General Kane had to say about how things are going at the briefing. He was standing next to Hegseth earlier today. Take a listen.
This progress has allowed CENTCOM to establish localized air superiority across the southern flank of the Iranian coast and penetrate their defenses with overwhelming precision and firepower. We will now begin to expand inland, striking progressively deeper into Iranian territory.
So how close are we, in your view, John, to whatever the end might be? Because we're also spending a lot of money. Our friends at thehill.com had a story today that the Pentagon churned through about $5.6 billion worth of munitions just in the first 2 days of this conflict. Does it feel like it's almost over to you?
I hope so. I mean, I really do think it's about time to start really defining success here. We already talked about the complete dominance of the U.S. military so far, 11 days in. It's not that there's nothing coming out of Iran in terms of strikes. It's just very sporadic and very ineffective, right? So America has succeeded brilliantly. I think you could stop operations today and say that we've accomplished virtually every objective. The wild card really is about 440 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium buried under rubble, right? So if we did leave today, you could still say, just like a year ago when we bombed Fordo, that we've certainly set back the Iranian nuclear program, just like we've set back the rest of the Iranian military. I think the big question that the administration has to wrap its head around is, how are we going to define success? And to your point as well, we're spending a lot of money. We have to find a way to pay for this thing. And when you have a very partisan start of the war, this is the first ever partisan start of a war with, about 70% Republican support and 10% Democrat. That's never happened. So if this thing drags out, there's a lot of complicating factors. I think the administration really needs to define success and then find a way to get there very quick.
Mm-hmm. I will say, to your point on the mines, that the president just put something out responding, because it's become a bigger story here this afternoon in the United States. If Iran's put any mines in the Hormuz Strait, and we have no reports that they have, is what the president said, we want them removed immediately. If for any reason mines are placed and they are not removed, the military consequences to Iran will be at a level never seen before. So a warning to Iran. If, on the other hand, he goes on to say, if they remove what may have been placed, it will be a giant step in the right direction. So I guess giving them a little bit of space. But you're going back to, they say they have no reports, and you're saying it would have been unlikely anyway?
We have a lot of eyes on the Strait of Hormuz in peacetime. We have even more right now. And the United States Navy is very capable. We have minesweepers. We have ways of detecting these things. Now, it's not to say that there couldn't be one-off incidents, but I think that was certainly one of the first considerations prior to the first Tomahawk missile being launched, is how to track and prevent mine operations in the Strait.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.